Welcome to the Lechtich Parsha podcast, where we delve into the Torah's timeless wisdom and uncover uplifting and empowering lessons tailored to the challenges of our generation. Good to have Shabbos, Parshas Vaeira Tovshin Pei Vav. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a wonderful week. This week's shir is sponsored by Tzvi and Tova Mermelstein of Wesley Hills, New York. Le'ulei Nishmas, Rabbi Naftali Simcha ben Avram. May his neshama have an aliyah. May he be a Beis Yosher for the entire mishpacha. Thank you to our corporate sponsors, the Hassan Zaltz Law Firm, T7 Capital, and Bluestone Brokerage. For future dedications to sponsor the Lechtich weekly Parsha publication and podcast, as well as the Mussar Shir, the Footsteps of Greatness, we have the drops. Make sure to take a look on Torah anytime. To sponsor any of the above shiurim, please reach out to 845-367-2959. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Thank you all for coming to shout out to all my friends. Chaim. There's an unbelievable piece I saw from the Petuchi Chaisam. In this week's Parsha, we have the makkah, and Mitzrayim gets wiped out. Hashem sends a makkah after makkah. Hashem hardens Paro's heart, back and forth. At the end of the Parsha, which makkah is it? It's the seventh makkah. The makkah of Barad, the hail. And it takes out the entire Mitzrayim, all the cattle, all the livestock. Rashi says was nes b'toich nes, that there was fire in the water, tremendous nisim. This particular, completely l'mayla midarach hateva. And what does the pasuk say at the end? Parak Tes, pasuk lamed aleph. When Moshe goes to Paro and he relates how this makkah is going to unfold and the magnitude and the impact it's going to have on Mitzrayim, you're literally going to get rocked in the most literal sense of the word. Says the pasuk says Moshe's prophecy, Va'ata v'avadecha yadati ki tarim tirum p'nei Hashem Elokim. And as for you and your servants, I know that you're not afraid of Hashem yet, but what's going to happen is Va'pishta v'asa'ira nukasa. With this makkah of Barad, the flax and the barley will be struck. For the barley was ripe and the flax was in the stalk. But says Moshe, but the wheat and spelt, they will not be struck, for they ripen later. This was part of Moshe's nevuah. Moshe was from Hashem, and he was telling Paro what's going to get destroyed, what's not going to get destroyed. So it just sounds like a very regular, it sounds like a nevuah from Moshe Rabbeinu, very straightforward, that the pishta and the sa'ira is going to go, but the chita and the kusamis is going to endure. Very pasha, very straightforward. But if you take a look at the Petuchi Chaisam, which is a grandson of the Baba Sali, a great nephew of the Baba Sali, he says the most eye-opening thing that you would never see from the psukim. And I'm going to go through it briefly over here. It's not long, but the words are just unbelievable. Says the Petuchi Chaisam, Efshar lirmos, it's possible to make a remes from the psukim. Dinay noida de la asid lo yesh kiyam utekuma kim le bali Torah. There's only going to be kiyam for the bali Torah, the people that are dedicated, the people that are fully subscribed to the Torah. The toimchim biyad kimu va'avra divrei Torah. The shemim divrei Torah, to those that keep, adhere, and those that listen to the Torah. But the Risha'im that don't learn, that don't keep, that they're against the Torah, ein lahem kiyum. There will be no kiyum. They won't sustain. V'nei edu the Baal Gaiva who ra ma'od. A Baal Gaiva, a haughty person, an arrogant person, is bad at the core. The Palioitz goes on about how there's a place in in Shol Tachtis, in Gehenim that's reserved for these people. Hashem Mamish, it's one of the biggest te'evos to Hashem, to be a Baal Gaiva. It's a complete abomination. God, Hashem hates. Pasuk in Mishlei says, Gvalev, Toevas Hashem Gvalev. An abomination, the abomination to Hashem is the Gvalev, the haughty heart. The Ubal Shekar Mechanufas Lashon Hara, who Gam Kein Ra Ad Ma'od, and people who speak Lashon Hara. And Nivul Peh, terrible. Says the Petuch Chaysim. How does this manifest in the pasuk? Unbelievable. V'hine hapishta, which the pasuk says is v'apishta v'asayra, which are going to go, they're going to get wiped out. V'apishta oisyos hasfas. Pishta, patient, tough hay is oisyos sin, fei, saf, sfas. Roimiz lebali lashon hara. Ushkarim v'chanufas is Roimiz, it alludes to the people that have nivul peh, the people that speak lashon hara, the people that misuse their mouth. Shekol zeh tolei b'svasa adam. So that's the pishta. Hasa'ira, which is the next word in the pasuk. Oisais, what's sa'ira? Rasha. Roimiz ala gaiva, says the Pituch Chaisam. People that are arrogant, people that are haughty, that are gvar lev, that possesses terrible midah. Roimiz ala gaiva shnikar harisha is referring to gaiva, which is known as risha. K'meisha amar v'roimiz ois harisha v'nei bal gaiva paigim b'shem Hashem k'mispar gaiva. One who is a bal gaiva completely is paigim in the Shem Hashem. So says the Pituch Chaisam. V'zeu sha'amra v'apishta heim bal lashon hara u'shekarim v'chanufas v'litzanos. When the pasuk says that the chita and the kusemis, that the pishta and the soira are going to be nukasa, they're going to be wiped out, it's referring to the bal lashon hara. It's referring to the people that speak with nivul peh. It's referring to the bal gaiva. V'sa'ira hi arasha v'gasas ruach, and la'asid, says the Pituch Chaisam, lukasa. Just like Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, the Pashup Shai, he was telling Paroi that these crops are going to be wiped out. But says the Pituch Chaisam that the Asid Lava, you want to know who's going to endure? We'll start with the people who aren't going to endure. It's the Sa'ira and the Chita. The Risha'im, the Balei Gaiva, the Balei Lashon Hara, they're going to be new Kasa. La'asid Lava, wiped out. The Hainu La'asid Lava, Kulam Yichlu V'yiklu, going to wiped out and obliterated. Why? V'atam reads into the pasuk, Ki ha'sa'ira aviv. Harisha hi gasas haruach, because Hashem has no capacity for these avirus. V'zehu gival. The next word in the pasuk is v'asa'ira nukasa ki ha'sa'ira aviv v'apishta gival. What's gival? Gav al, which is referring to the Sitra Achra. Gav al is a reference to the Sitra Achra, they're all going to be wiped out. But, says the Pituch Chaisam, the next pasuk, who's going to endure? V'achita v'al-kusemes, loinuku. The flax and the barley, they're going to stay around. Even la'asalave. Why? Because chita is gematria, unbelievable. Chita is gematria chaf Beis, 22, which is the oisius HaTorah. In Chaf Beis Oisius HaTorah, the 22 letters that are on the Torah. So a person who's a Baal Torah, he is a Chita person, and the Kusemes. Who's the Kusemes? Which is the barley people. Who is that? Kiloimer HaTorah v'hasoimeches. Kusemes and soimeches are interchangeable. It's the same letters. So the people that are represented, that shtal zechzu, that are mishtayach to the 22 letters of the Torah, and the people that are kusemes, which is the same word, it's interchanged with soy meches. They rely on the Torah, they rely on the Eibishter, they have betachon, they believe in the Torah, it's chayim l'machazikim ba, then, kol eile loinuku. All these people will not get obliterated. They're going to stay strong, they're going to endure, they're going to remain alive and flourish. La'asilavai. Why? Because ki afilos heina. That's the end of the pasuk. Ki afilos heina. What is afilos? It means they're anavim. They're humble, and they were mekayim the Torah, and that's going to be the key to their success, the key to their endurance. Unbelievable. Pashup Sham and the pasuk is that Moshe Rabbeinu was telling a nevuah to Paroi about which crops are going to get destroyed and which crops are going to sustain. And he says this is a model to us, that the people that are the Pishta and the Sa'ira, the Balchet, and they have bad mouths, and they have Lashon Hara, and they're not working on themselves, and everything is just a free-for-all, and they're Chatoyim, and they make Hashem upset, Nuku, they're gone. They're about themselves and Gaiba. But the people that are Chita v'Kusemes, the people that are Chita 22, the 22 letters of the Torah, and Kusemes, which is interchangeable with Soy Meches, Soy Mech Yadai, Hashem is Soy Mech Yadai, Hashem holds on to those that hold on to Him. Those are Leinuku because Afilois Heina, because they're ripe and they're strong. What's the message? The message is that, like we said in the beginning, that there's the right and there's wrong. And yes, people always work on it themselves, but when we come to the Torah, we come to the makkah, and we have a message that's so relevant to learn from, being a soimeches al Torah, being soimech al Torah, living with the Torah, being machzik ba, it's our key to success, it's our key to endure. And even when it seems like we're sacrificing, and even when it seems that we're going against the grain, and maybe there are people that are laughing and being malig at us and making fun, and we feel like we're out of place, and we're the from guy, Hashem doesn't forget the Mesiras Nefesh that goes into that. Hashem doesn't discount any act of Mesiras Nefesh, especially during Shoivivim, when it's a time to work in Kedusha and Tahara, Shuvu Vanim, L'Shavim, to return to Hashem. Anything that we can add, that we can be Moisif, that we can enrich in our Kesher with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's going to put us into the category of the Chita, of the 22 letters of the Torah, or into this Kusemis, into the Semeches al Torah, is what we need, is what we ultimately want, and what's going to help us sustain and endure for now and the Asal. To finish off, there's an unbelievable Maisa. 2 more minutes. I heard this a while ago and then I just heard it tonight. And I don't think it's coincidental ever, what comes and what we hear, different things. It's all Siyat L'Shamayim L'Ashkacha. Next week, Shabbos, is the Yartzeit of the Rosh Hashiva, Shmuel Berman, Rosh Hashiva the Mir. Heard this Maisa from Reb Zachariah Wallerstein, who was a Talmud. I think you heard it straight from Shmuel Berman, all the Bal Maisa. The Maisa goes, there was a young man in the Mir. He was about 60 years old. He was learning the Mir for 30 years. He was a young man. And at 60, he found out about his wife found out that she had stage 4 cancer. And he was absolutely heartbroken, obviously, and worried about the future. And he went to the Rebbe, went to Shmuel, and he said, Rebbe, my wife just found out she has stage 4 cancer. I need a moifis. I need a miracle. I have a ton of kids, I have to make chasanas. You can't just leave me hanging over here, do something. So he looks at the young man and he says, I really wish I can help. I don't have the access that, maybe. And he said, Rabbi, I've been in yeshiva for the past 30 years. My wife has been dedicated and enabled, she facilitated that I should be able to sit for the past 30 years in your yeshiva. And I have banim uvnei banim oiskim b'Torah, and it's all in her schus. He said, you have to do something. My wife is dying. And he gives a nod. So, a week later, the young man comes back to Shmuel and he says, I don't know what you did. I didn't go to any Mekubal. I didn't go to Artsah. I didn't go to Reb Chaim. I stayed right here in Brooklyn. And my wife went for a scan yesterday for a test, and the cancer is gone. What happened? So, did you go to Kabbalah class? Did you take some course? What? Explain it to me. And Shmuel said, I'll tell you the truth. He said, when you left me, it made a tremendous impression on me. My heart was broken. I understand what your wife did for you. And I felt there wasn't much I can do because I'm not a Mekubal. But I said, you know what? I said, I don't have a shaykhis with the Olam HaKabbalah, but I do have a shaykhis with a Vaeira. And he said, when you left, I started crying. And I said, Abaye, Rava, I've been learning your Torah for the past 80 years. This younger man has been learning your Torah for the past 30, 40, 50 years. If you don't help him, if you don't intercede, if you don't advocate on his behalf, how will he continue learning Torah Ekdaisha? Said Reb Shmuel Borman, that's all I did. So I guess in the schus of Abaye v'Rava, the cancer has been cleared. So yeah, it sounds like a Rebbe Shemaisa, but it wasn't because it was Shmuel Borman Aleph. But Beis, there's another pshat. Comes straight from the Torah. V'achita v'akusemes loinuku. If we're people that apply ourselves to being a kusemes, soimeches al haTorah, there is a different way Hashem operates. We are accessing l'mayla min derech hateva. We're not confined, we're not constrained to nature, to doctors, to prognoses, to chemotherapy, to cancer. Soimeches, when we have the Eibush, when we rely on Hashem, we have the Torah Hakdoisha, where Soimeches, we have the Chita, where the Chaf, Beis, Oisis, that Torah type of people. Then we're living with not doctors and not Teva. We're living with Chamish Chumshei Torah, we're living with the Eibishter, and Hashem can do anything. And again, during this time, always have to reevaluate and make sure that we're plugged into the emes, we're plugged into the right things. And sometimes it's tough and it's hard. And people are saying, what are you doing? And learning extra and doing extra shmiras and things. It's kedai. Because when we're saying Mechal Torah, when we're Chaf Beis Oisis type of yid, we're saying Meches, a Kusemes, a Chita v'Kusemes. Not only will we be different, but we'll be treated different. We'll be operated with Hashem differently, which is what we all want and need. Hashem grant all the shuas, the answers, the clarity, the nechamas, and ultimately the arrival of Mashiach Tzidkeinu b'meher of Yameinu. Amen. Shabbos. I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you a wonderful Shabbos.